In the first 22 days of January, I collected $141,000 in my social media marketing agency in cash collected. So in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it, from how I book calls to what my offer is, to what my VSL looks like, my sales process, everything like that, so you can just copy me. And not just that agency, but I've scaled 2 different agencies to 100K a month and helped 120 people hit 10K a month. So that said, lock in and let's get to it. So the first thing is gonna be avatar, and this is low-key something super slept on that's honestly more important than offer. When I was at a Hormozi event, he basically told everybody that something that's more important than offer that he talks about, and he, of course, Hormozi is the fucking offer guy. Offer is king, offer is more important than everything. Something that's more important than the offer that he was talking about was avatar and what you're offering the avatar. So think about it like this. If I'm gonna go target the lower of the low, let's just even say biz ops, so people who are just looking to start an online business and they have no money, they have no buying power, they can't spend a lot of money on things, versus if I'm gonna go offer something to private equity companies who can pay me $100,000 up front and something like that, like who am I gonna make more money to? What's the better boat to be in? So we can row as hard as possible and have the best offer in the world. If we're not targeting the right audience, then we're not going to be able to hit whatever goal we want to hit. So if you're targeting somebody who doesn't even need what you're like offering and doesn't even want it, like, well, fuck, you're not going to make any money ever. There's no chance you're ever going to make money online. A few things when it comes to avatar and what we wanted to pick and what I've always wanted to go with is rich people. I hate selling to poor people. I only want to sell to rich people because, one, obviously they pay invoices way faster. It's way easier to get them results. If they're rich, it means they're good at stuff, which means they're probably good at sales. They're good at like their sales process and they can actually close deals. So when I send them leads, when I send them appointments, they're gonna close them. They're not gonna blame it on me. It's just way better. The LTV's higher. We collect more cash up front. Oh my God. That's the biggest thing that took my agency from like 10, 15K a month to 100K a month is just like who I was targeting. Like I was targeting the fucking low of the low solar guys and like they could pay me 2K a month. They would churn after 1 month because they expected the world out of 2K. But when I went to the guys closing like 30 deals a month, which is like 150K a month, they have a full sales team. Their marketing budget is like 30K a month and they give me like 15K, then like they see that ROI way better. They're not looking day to day on the ad spend. For example, when you're running ads for somebody, they're getting billed for ads like every other day, like every 3 days. So like every 3 days, they're like, oh, money just left my bank account. Like, how are things going? So they're looking at it and they're being like, oh my God, like I haven't gotten this lead didn't answer, this lead did this lead did this. But they forget like a week ago, they closed a deal and they ROI'd all their money. First thing, sell to rich people. No matter what industry you're in, I would never sell to poor people ever in my life. Next thing is easy to find and easy to target. We want to basically target people and go after people that are easy to target. I'm not interested in it being like super hard to find the person who I'm targeting, right? We want there to be a lot of them. For example, like insurance agents, there's 800,000 of them, which basically means we're gonna book way more appointments for a cheaper cost because there's way more of them. So if it can be rich people and there's a lot of the rich people, I'd love that niche. Next is gonna be sell high ticket, get away from low ticket stuff. When I'm saying even low ticket, I'm saying like 2 grand. Like 2 grand's realistically not that much money and it doesn't give you a lot of money to fulfill. Like with 2 grand, all you can do with a traditional marketing agency is like basically get them a media buyer from basically the Philippines or something like that, which obviously you're hiring them for the Philippines, they're not that good. Then get a Mexican appointment setter, obviously they're not that good. So if you want to get them an actual good service, then you're gonna have to deliver. So if you're gonna, thank you, Kane. So if you want to actually deliver a good product, you're gonna have to pay your team to do a good job. You can't just pay a Filipino and be like, I'm gonna make you guys $1 billion. That's honestly a big misconception that I'm seeing. I'm seeing people be like, oh, I'm gonna be paid 2K a month. I'm gonna outsource it to a Filipino guy. I'm gonna outsource it to a Mexican. And then my clients are gonna make $1 zillion. They're gonna pay me forever and everything's gonna be happy and all fucking sunshines and rainbows. Dude, what the fuck? You think a Filipino guy can make your client $100,000? No. You pay the Filipino guy $100 because he's not that good. What? So obviously I would just sell high ticket because it's gonna give you the ability to actually fulfill for your clients. So I'd go after guys doing 3 million a year plus minimum. If you don't, the churn's just gonna be high and it's gonna be hard to sign clients because the people are broke. Next thing is gonna be booking appointments. So this is how we're booking appointments, free versus paid. So if we wanna book them for free, now this isn't gonna be completely free, but it's gonna be the cheapest way you can book calls. They're just not gonna be super qualified. Not even qualified, but they're not even gonna be super like high intent. And when we're doing outreach, like cold outreach, it's gonna be hard to like, I guess, target the rich people. But beggars can't be choosers. If you wanna spend not a lot of money on outreach, you're not gonna be able to get the best quality of client. You wanna go get a good client, we're gonna have to go run paid ads and spend money to get the client. But if we're gonna spend money to get the client and it's a way better client, I would way rather do that because that client's gonna pay me month after month after month after month if I can actually deliver results for the rest of my fucking life, right? So in my opinion, that's how the agency game was supposed to be ran. How many clients can we get to pay us anywhere between like $3,000 and $10,000 every single month, month after month, provide a really good service to? Sorry, the dog's fucking tweaking over here. provide a really good fucking service to, where they make a lot of money, you make money, you guys have a long-lasting partnership together, right? So that being said, the way we get appointments, if you guys are in a tight situation like financially until you can run paid ads, is SMS blast. Don't use Go High Level for SMS blast, use TextGrid. TextGrid's way cheaper, it's like a 10th of the cost. Get your leads from D7 Lead Finder or Apollo, depending on what niche you're in. D7 Lead Finder gets their leads off Google Maps. Apollo gets them off, I believe, LinkedIn. So let's say you're in an industry like solar or roofing where people are using their phone numbers on Google Maps and there's not a lot of gatekeepers, which just means like people who, like a receptionist, like a front desk. Like I would do D7 versus if you were in like the chiropractor industry, like going after like dental clinic owners where there's a receptionist, so you can't actually text like the business owner. I would go to Apollo, and that scrapes off LinkedIn, and you're gonna have a better chance of getting better phone numbers. Next, send 1 to 3,000 SMS a day. Is gonna book you probably, if everything's dialed in, anywhere between like 2 and 10 appointments. And the next thing that's important is you're gonna dial every lead within 5 minutes. That one's pretty fucking simple. If you dial every lead within 5 minutes, it's literally gonna 10x the amount of appointments you book, rather than if you don't dial every lead within 5 minutes, you're gonna obviously see 110. People reply and they want information immediately, right? If let's say you call them the next day, they're probably gonna either one, forget that they even replied to the message that you sent them. And if they didn't forget, then they're just gonna be like, why did I even reply to that? I don't know what I was doing. So we need to catch them catch the iron while it's hot. I think that's what the fucking quote is. But basically, we need to get to them as fast as possible, or else they're gonna forget that we even fucking exist. After that, this is the script we sent for SMS. Hey, hope you're doing well. I'm Olivia, we haven't met yet, but I wanted to quickly reach out. I've got roughly 18 to 20 people needing replacements or whatever niche you're in, and was wondering if you'd be open to giving them an estimate. This is kind of a bait and switch offer. It's something I used to do back in the day when voicemail drops were hot. Now, if you don't know what voicemail drops is, it's like we would basically drop a voicemail into their inbox being like, oh, this same script. Hey, I hope you're doing well. My name's Cole. We haven't met yet, but I wanted to reach out. I got like 18 to 20 like solar installation appointments in your area, and I was wondering if you could take them. Just let me know if you are. So it's kind of like a bait and switch, because we're like, oh, we have appointments. Do you want them? So it's like half of it's like we're trying to sell you something. The other half is like, oh, I'm gonna get free appointments. I'm just looking for someone to push the deals through. But we're just optimizing for the amount of appointments that we're gonna book. We're just optimizing for the amount of replies that we get, right? So we're gonna get replies, and then after we get replies, some of them are gonna think that we're not selling them something. But it's a bait and switch offer, because we're gonna end up booking way more appointments than if we didn't have this. Now, within 5 minutes, we're gonna call them up, right, and use this script that I'll vaguely go over right now. So it's gonna be, hey, is this name? It's just Cole from Achilles. Like, I saw you replied to one of our messages about taking on some more estimates in your area. Does that ring a bell? Yes? Okay, cool. I just had a second here, wanted to reach out, see if I could help. You got a few minutes? And if they say no, it'll just be 5 minutes, yada, yada, yada. So give me some more context. What caught your attention to check out, to like reply to that message in the first place? Okay, cool. If you're open to it, I would love to find out more about your situation. Then I can connect you with the right people, or worst case, can send over some resources to help you out. Does that sound fair? Yep. Okay. So after that, we go over situation. And the reason why this call is going to be a little bit longer than most people that you're seeing teaching this is because we want to build some actual interest. I don't give a shit about how many appointments we book. I give a shit about how many fucking deals we close and how much money we make. Same thing with revenue. Revenue is a vanity metric. Basically, revenue doesn't have any leading indicators on how much you're actually profiting. All I care about is profit. I don't give a shit about booked appointments. Booked appointments is a vanity metric. Oh, I got 30 booked appointments. My cost per booked appointment is $10. I don't give a shit. Like, I give a shit how many deals are closing, how much money you're making. Those are the only numbers I fucking care about. So the reason why the script is going to be longer than most people's that you're seeing is because we want to actually build some intent. And I'm not looking to book sales calls. I'm looking to book sales calls that are going to show up and fucking buy. That being said, current situation is the next thing we're going to go over. So examples of this are just going to be like how many jobs are you currently doing? How many appointments are you doing? How long have you been getting that many appointments for? Just like getting a complete understanding of like where they're at currently with their business and like what they're currently doing. After that, we're going to go into goals and problem awareness, which is just going to be like find out their main goal and then use that to find the biggest problem holding them back to getting to the goal. They wouldn't be replying to messages if they didn't want more appointments, if they didn't want more jobs, if they didn't want to grow their business. So we just need to find like what their goal in terms of like growing the business is and what is in the way of getting them to that goal. So some verbiage we would use to do this is, I get you want to book more appointments to get more estimates for your business, but what's your goal with that? Like, what are you trying to reach revenue wise? And then why? What's the biggest thing stopping you from getting there, or at least as quickly as you might want to get there? And then we can ask, okay, let's say they say, oh, I just can't book enough appointments because I can't door knock because people aren't answering the doors. How long has that been the case for? Have you tried anything else to book more calls? Now, something else we can ask is booking more calls something that's important to you now, or is it not that important right now? And then we'll ask like, why now specifically, basically. And then after that, we just transition into actually like booking them in a sales call. So it'd be, can I share a few thoughts with you? I have some trainings and content that I want to send over, but it's not necessarily going to get you to XYZ mark by itself, because more than anything, it sounds like you could definitely hit that goal, but what's holding you back is problem. Does that sound fair? Well, if you're open to it, I would love to get on a call, and then you guys can just read this. This is pretty self-explanatory. It just books them in the call. So next, when it comes to booking appointments, but with paid ads, not like cold outreach, the first thing we're gonna need to do is make a one-pager. Now, basically what a one-pager is a one-page document of everything about your ICP. Your ICP would be your ideal client profile. When we're running paid ads, if we want them to be super profitable, we need to have one ideal client. I'm not trying to speak to every roofer, or I'm not trying to speak to every solar guy. I'm not trying to speak to every contractor. What I'm trying to do is speak to one specific type of contractor that's struggling with one specific type of problem, because we can get them the best results, so we can charge the most for that, and so we can basically get the highest return on ad spend as possible. So what I would do here is get really specific with who that is. I want to find a solar pro who's closing 30 jobs a month, who has a 3-person sales team, who gets appointments and closes at 30%. They use words like kilowatt, they use words like cancellation, they use words like this. Basically, that's gonna help us in our marketing message a lot to be able to find those right people. A lot of people do this the wrong way. They make ads, they're just like, my niche is roofing and I just want roofers. And that's why you honestly end up getting your clients bad results, because you're taking anyone on. If I came into a roofing business and they weren't making any, and they were like, had a bad sales process, they were bad at sales, they were in a bad area, and they didn't know what was going on, and they didn't have a proven process, I couldn't fucking help them, right? I could get them appointments, but they just wouldn't close them. As a marketing agency, you can't do everything for them. So if you're getting bad results for your clients, likely you just suck at fulfillment, but also likely you just are signing shitty clients, and likely it's your marketing. So if you were running a marketing agency targeting shitty clients, you will never make money because churn will be so fucking high. I've seen millions of agencies win. I've seen millions of agencies lose. The biggest thing is who they're targeting. The people that are winning have MRR, monthly recurring revenue, coming month after month because they have good results, because they're signing good clients and they're setting good expectations. That all comes from your marketing message and your one pager. Other than that, this is how we're gonna structure an ad based off of our one pager. So we're gonna write our one pager, and then we're gonna write an ad basically about our one pager, trying to target people who we are targeting. So the first thing of the ad is gonna be the pre-qualifier. Now this is a video ad. So let's use this example, the solar space with the example I just mentioned, that they're closing over 30 deals a month. I would just say at the beginning of the ad, if you're a solar pro closing over 30 deals a month, right? So that's gonna be the pre-qualifier, so we're just qualifying them. If you're a X doing Y, if you're an X doing Y, like if you're this person making this much money, and you, pain statement or yes-based question. Now, the pain statement and yes-based question has to align with the one page, right? And with also your pre-qualifier. This is a mistake I'm seeing a lot of people make. Let's say I was like, if you're a solar pro closing over 30 deals a month and you're tired of knocking doors, that would be a pain statement. That would be like stating their pain. But it doesn't make any fucking sense, because my ICP, my ideal client, is a solar pro closing over 30 deals a month. But I'm saying if you're closing over 30 deals a month, but you're still knocking doors. No fucking dude with 30 deals a month is knocking doors. Maybe some guys, but like, that's not the mass market. That's not everybody, right? So instead, a better one would be, they need to have congruency. So it'd be, if you're a solar pro closing over 30 deals a month and you're tired of your sales team leaving you because you're not setting them qualified appointments, listen up. That would be a way more relatable pain point for my ICP, for the person I put on my one pager, than what I was talking about earlier. So you need to make sure these two things have congruency. So it's pre-qualifier and then pain statement. I hope you guys understand pain statement. It would be just, what are they feeling pain-wise? A yes-based question would be just a question they respond yes to. Solar pros closing over 30 deals a month. Do you want more qualified appointments for your closers completely risk-free? Yes, they do. After that, it's the offer, so whatever you're offering. After that, it's the social proof, so the fact that you can do it. Last is CTA. This part's fucking easy. You should be able to make that in probably 30 seconds. This part is harder, and I would spend more time on it. After that, you get a UGC creator. You literally look up UGC creator. I wouldn't do it yourself. UGCs are just always gonna do better. When it comes to UGCs, either use girls or somebody that looks like your ideal client. Like a dentist, you would have somebody in like the dental cloak and some, like, I don't know what the fuck that's called, but you know what I mean. And then just get an editor off Fiverr, make the ads look pretty. Next thing is gonna be targeting, a few different options. Open is just open. It's completely broad, it's targeting everybody. Facebook is really doing this a lot because your creatives do the targeting. Since I'm saying solar pros closing over 30 deals a month, like basically since I'm saying that, only solar pros are gonna be clicking on the ad, which means that Facebook's gonna learn on that data and just keep sending it to solar guys, because Facebook's going to learn who's clicking on it and just send it to more people like that. So open is completely broad and something that works a lot. A+ is advantage. Oh, that's a big fucking pen. A+, oh, that's still a big fucking pen. A+ is advantage plus, which basically just means that Facebook gets to decide. It's not necessarily broad, it's not necessarily targeted, but Facebook just completely decides where it's gonna target people. Next is lookalike audience. This works really well. I would only do this though if you have like a lot of qualified book calls in the past, or you've had more than 100, or you've closed more than 100 clients. We'll take all the clients we've ever ran, put them in a custom audience in Facebook, make a lookalike audience of it, 1%. 1% of people who are similar to the 100 clients that you've landed. And obviously you can see why that's gonna perform really well, because it's a similar audience to the people you've literally fucking closed. If you haven't had like 200, 300 clients or qualified shown calls, like I wouldn't necessarily look into running this. I just think open and A+ would work better for you. Other than that, interest stack is basically a stack of interest, probably 20 to 30 in your niche. So if it was solar, it'd be like solar, Tesla Motors, like stuff like that. If you're in e-com, it would be like Versace, like a bunch of different clothing brands, maybe Shopify, drop shipping, stuff like that. If it was detailing, it'd be like different car brands, like Detail Shop, things like that. There's two types of interest stacks. Broad would be one that's more broad, obviously, maybe like 5 to 8 interests. Narrow would be one that has a lot more interest, so like 30 interest. And then the last thing would be an audience pocket, which is just like 1 interest. So for the roofing space, we're using interest called a roof shingle right now, or domestic roof construction. These are working really well. My camera dies every time I'm fucking recording shit. Anyways, these are just targeting options that like you can run. I'm gonna go over exactly like how I would start testing these. First, some context. Lookalikes always gonna perform best to me and open. These are ones that are working really well. Lookalike 1 to 2% and open. But it just depends on your ad account. Like not every ad account's treated the same. And what I mean by that is like I could put my ads up with my targeting that I'm running on my ad account up on yours and it could fucking shit the bed. And mine are obviously doing well. So like, and the reason for that is just like every ad account has history and Facebook learns off the history of the ad account. If you're on a fresh ad account, basically meaning you haven't spent any money in your niche, like the results are gonna be way worse as if I had spent $500,000 in the solar niche on my ad account. So the last thing I'm gonna be going over is phases of ads and testing ads. So phase 1, the first thing I always do, I call it P1, is testing offers whenever I go into a new industry and I don't know what's working. So for example, we just brought our industry into the concrete space as a test like 3 weeks ago. And basically what I did is I launched, not losing the money, but like, let's say making half of the money back. Let's say I spent 6 grand, I'm assuming I only make 3 grand back. Cause like in the beginning when you're testing shit, you're just technically spending money to see what works. If you don't know what you're doing and don't have somebody like guiding you, is what happens is like you'll lose money like month after month until you finally find what works, and then you just start to make a shit ton of money. So like you'll lose 2K, 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 2K. Once the shit works, you profit 30K, and then you profit 60K, and then you profit 90K. And then you just keep scaling it from there, so on and so forth. So I will pick an amount of money that you're not okay with losing, obviously, but let's say worst case scenario, you end up making half of it back. What are you okay with spending? And we go and test offers. So let's say it's $100 in this case, $100 a day, so 3 grand. Open and interest stack is what I would do. So I do one completely open, targeting everything, and I do an ad set with an interest stack. So basically like, dude, why you sat up like a freak in my YouTube video game? But 1 open, 1 interest stack. So the interest stack, I would do a narrow one, so like 20 plus interest. You want the audience, like when you're in the ad account, to say over 20 million people, and you would just test offers with static images. So for example, I'd make around 5 to 10 different images, and they would all look exactly the same. They would all have the exact same colors, exactly everything the same. They would have a call out right here, so roofers, then the offer, and then the risk reversal. So it'd just be roofers, only pay per appointment, $150 an appointment. Roofers, 30 appointments guaranteed in 30 days, or you don't pay a single penny. Roofers, 30 jobs guaranteed in 90 days, or you don't pay. Roofers, only pay per estimate. I'm taking like 5 to 7 different offers that I think are gonna work in the industry, and I'm testing them on ad creatives, and I'm seeing which offer the industry likes the most. From there, I'm gonna get the data. So now, first off, you can either do this open and interest stack, or you can just double the budget on open. It kind of just depends on your niche, which one I would do. But let's say we run all those, we're gonna get a clear winner. And when I say winner, just basically means we're gonna get an offer that works the best. We're gonna know which offer is gonna get us the cheapest and best results. From there, phase 2, or I like to call this phase 1.2, is gonna be testing creatives and audience, right? So now we have the offer that works. After we get the offer, we're gonna test creatives, so whether that's videos or images, and what audiences work with what creatives. Now, for example, one creative could work with one audience could not work with this other creative, so it just completely depends. But so what I would do is $20 per ad set, however much you're comfortable spending, let's say $100 for example, like we used in phase 1. So I'd do $20 per ad set and I'd test 5 different audiences. So the audiences that I would test is some of these. Maybe open, I would test maybe a lookalike audience if I had one, interest stack, a broad interest stack, a narrow interest stack, and some audience pockets. Now, I don't think I explained audience pockets well enough, but basically what those are is like, let's say you're in the chiropractor niche, you would just have one audience, right? And it would just be chiropractor. Or maybe a different example would be, I'll know the niche of dentists more. So let's say it was dental clinic owners, you could put like dentists, or maybe you could put Invisalign, or maybe you could put like cavity or something like that. Just one thing that your niche might be interested in, and then you go from there. But so I'll do 20 bucks per ad set. In this case, since our budget's 100 bucks a day, I'll do 5 ad sets, and I make 5 creatives with the offer that was proven, and then I test those same creatives amongst multiple ad sets. And I'd probably do video creatives, those creatives that I talked to you guys about earlier with the one pager that I was talking about. Phase 2, after this, is gonna be scaling. All we're gonna do is, let's say we found the winning creatives, we found the winning audiences, and we found the winning offer. Now, to keep in mind, you're not gonna run one campaign and be out of phase 1.2. You're gonna need to probably iterate 2, 3, 4 different times to find the best audiences with the best creatives. Now, after that, what we do is we go make a new campaign. We take all the best creatives that have worked the best. We take all the best audiences that have worked the best. We put them all into campaign budget optimization. So where we set the budget at the campaign, which basically means Facebook gets to decide where the money goes on the ad sets, where the money goes on the ads, where the money goes everywhere, because Facebook knows best. So basically we get all of this data that's been working. From there, we put it all in a campaign budget, and then we spend more money and we scale the campaign. Now, if the campaign doesn't scale, we got to go back to phase 1.2. Not all ad creatives can scale. And if your ad creative doesn't scale, when I scale, it just means if your ad creative doesn't work when you spend more money on it, then it's not good enough. And you need to go back to phase 1.2 and test more creatives. After that, let's say this works. What I would do is I'd go to phase 3, which is a full remarketing cycle, which is not going to lower your cost per lead or cost per appointment, but it is going to lower your cost per acquisition. So what a full remarketing cycle is, and I go over this a little bit more in other videos. I'm not going to go over tactically how to do it in this one today, but basically what you do is you create remarketing audiences. So basically you go into custom audiences in Facebook. From custom audiences, you create an audience of everyone who's watched the creative, who's clicked your landing page, who's opened your lead form, who's engaged with your Instagram profile, anyone who's been remotely interested in the ad. We create an audience of them and we remarket them with testimonials. And we can also do something later on that I got from Jeremy Haynes called the hammer them strategy, where basically when somebody books a call, we'll remarket them in Facebook too with a bunch of testimonials, with a bunch of videos pre-handling objections. This right here is going to lower your cost per acquisition a bunch, because me and you both know that organic leads, so leads that come from content or referrals or something like that, are always going to have the highest close rate. They're going to be the best clients. They're going to pay you the most money. So the question always poses, at least for me, is it's like, how are we going to basically like get a organic quality of lead from paid ads on cold traffic? If you can answer that question, you're going to make a shit ton of money for the rest of your life. You'll never be broke. You'll be driving Lamborghinis and having Rolexes. To do that, we need them to obviously see testimonials. We then need them to see case studies. We need them to see content. So that's what I would do. That's stage 3 of scaling, but I wouldn't say to focus on that unless you're at like 30K a month. To get to 30K a month, all you need is one VSL, a good offer, some good ads, or some good outreach methods. You gotta be decent in sales, and you gotta be willing to do a lot and work really fucking hard. So I appreciate you guys for watching the video. If I provided you some value, subscribe below, and I'll catch you on the next one.